Hello, I am Daniel, founder of 360 Mint, my little toy cave, or corner, actually, in the whole office here. I'm inviting you to come on an expedition. There's a handful of guys that are going to summit together something that you definitely want to know about and join us in this journey. But it's going to take a few minutes of your time for me to explain where we're going. So come with me, let's go for a walk down to the waterfront and let's explore what this is all about. You know, we're going to reshoot that introduction, but then maybe not. Maybe my point is being made. See the toothpaste in the corner of my mouth? You need other guys around you. You can't just do this shit on your own. One of the first things you're going to have to get used to is my MailChimp hat, right? And I'm going to shoot this from my cell phone. And whatever you do, just try to ignore that toothpaste. It's just, you know, just ignore it. So this little ditty goes like this. I do, you watch. We do, and we watch. And then you do, and I watch, and that's called impartation. That's the process of transferring knowledge and skills. And if you've seen teachers or guides or coaches do this. Anyway, get used to my MailChimp hat, and let's go. So this is a pretty appropriate launch site right here. Let's go down and have a chat. Get it? Launch site. Feels right at home for me. I go out here and play all the time. So what's the goal, the overriding mission of 360 Mint? Well, you can see on my YouTube channel, and you're probably watching this there, that earlier videos, it was an invitation to be part of a corpus, a library to offset gender neutrality, which is part of the bias that's really mucking up our worldview. That's the bigger picture. And there's a lot involved in building a corpus and a library, but basically there's been stories that you have acquired through really hard lessons, through things that have cost you dearly, and those should be recorded and passed on to your heirs, your grandchildren, your children, and etc. So building that library on the surface and getting your stuff syndicated, well, that's kind of the easy level. And forgive me if I'm the watchmaker that can't tell you the time, because I'm so close to this. I've been developing it for 20 years, and I'd like to just straight up tell you the time, but it's more of I got to tell you the story so you can see on a sundial for yourself. So what I want to talk to you about is a thing I call digital franchising, but it's like chess. There's players and positions at all different levels. And it's not something you can just do out here on YouTube or on LinkedIn. It's got to be held in a private conversation, because all that data, where you're pioneering with the rest of us, making us summit up this thing while we're, you know, up and down, up and down, up and down, traversing and getting acclimated together in a tandem production. We don't need all that being recorded and biasing even our daily searches and progress and etc. So we've got to have this conversation in a private place. This invitation is in part an opportunity for you to learn in tandem, along with a number of us, a methodology for scaling exponentially, for using a bunch of tools to attract an audience, to bring them through a gamification process, to vet them deeper and deeper, and eventually to qualify real partners so that you can transfer your skills and knowledge and insights as a package, we could term it a digital franchise, along with a platform where you're building their business. And in that process, you're building a stable utility income for yourself. See, think about it. This is one of the lessons that I'm going to be putting together on YouTube, is that guys who create content don't make much money. It's a lot of work, I know. People that make the money are the ones that own the platforms. So I've developed a platform. And in a very weird way, I want you to use that platform and teach others to use that platform. And it's private, meaning no one else manages, manipulates, or tweaks with your base income. It's secured and stable while this scales.
So what are you doing?
You're trying to communicate simply, but in enough detail to express multiple layers of this 360 Men movement, the whole project, the whole program. So
Journey?
it's a journey for those that are coming, yeah. Expedition for those that are willing to be leaders and those that are willing to step up their game into areas that they're afraid to go.
A fellowship?
Well, for those that champion through the whole thing, it's a fellowship, yeah, because, yeah, you work at it long enough, you deserve that. It's a chance for you to get your stories recorded and learn how to do that simply on a phone, and to have that syndicated through the 360 Men YouTube channel, and in text version to have it syndicated across the entire network that we own, and to not do it alone, right? It's a tandem production. So there's all different levels to get engaged with. If you're a leader, there's a whole level for you to and help. If you're really wanting to be a leader, then we can white label our live copy syndicator platform for your brand. You'll come along as one of the expedition leaders, and we'll work together closely to build your income and your audience, and help you acquire all those new skills that you need. If you're up for participation, but you're fully committed to your own venture at the time, or you'd like to take it on a more gradual sport kind of commitment, we've got an ability for you to have your wisdom recorded, content syndicated, and to learn all the process in a year's time, and have that story go into the 360 Men book, the actual print version of those men that come along on this expedition.
And if you want to fast track things, talk to Angelina.
My intention is for this to simply be an introduction, not an explanation, but as you'll learn my strengths and my strength offenders, achiever, learner input. So the Vulcan mind meld, here we are. I'm doing it to you. In this industry, we call that experience of watching that, it's called envy. It's the very first stage of an entire journey. Similarly, this 360 Men has got some stuff going on like this, that when you see what we're doing, when you kind of grab all the layers, you're going to be like, holy cow, I'm in, that's for sure. And that's what all the response is about, and that's what we're going to teach you to do. Sometimes you get really good metaphors. They just jump out at you. Here's the watchmaker trying to tell you what time it is, right? But if you get a good enough vantage point, you go, oh, I get it. It's art. I get it. I see it. It's a bird. Oh, okay. The burden of proof lies with the claimant. So I'd like you to see some of the evidence that I have toward this. It's you can look at the YouTube channel. You can count the videos. There's about 30 of them I produced so far this year. And we started on the road in January. I didn't start my social media until the middle of April, I think it was. And as you can see, I've now got some 1,700 followers. And you can count the number of views on the YouTube videos and you go, nothing much. Yeah, exponentials are quite deceptive. Another piece of the evidence is the number of subscribers that we've got. I'm not looking for a really huge audience. I'm looking for very deep relationships and a smaller number of guys, and so I keep distilling this. It was up to about 780 a couple of weeks ago, and I just went through the guys that aren't opening it and cut it all out. And so we're at about 350 something right now. If you've got the envy, which is what we talk about on windsurfing, the way it all starts out here is you stand on the beach and you see somebody doing something and you're like, oh man, I'd like to do that. And then we all help you get in the water, and toes in the water wet, and then on a foil, and then next thing you know, you're standing around in a parking lot with a bunch of guys joking about your crashes and putting arnica on for all your wounds. So you've seen all that in the YouTube channel. You see that I'm slightly ahead of a handful of guys, but as just a good peloton or a good squadron, a chevron of geese, well, come join it. This is an invitation to consider how you might not go it alone and be part of a tandem production summiting both the personal Everest for you and having some long-term financial gains in it. Time for me to edit, post, connect. I do, you watch. We do, we watch. You do, and I watch. So the next step, subscribe to the channel and follow along, or connect with us, the group of guys, and learn more about our expedition. Learn more about the book coming out. Learn how you can be a part of telling your story and making a difference in gender neutrality. And also scaling your own enterprise in a private syndication that has long-term royalty or residual income that you control. All right, sound good? All right, let's connect. This is a postscript. I'm editing this and I'm talking to Angelina and I'm thinking about the different stages that we go through in learning on the water that we're mimicking and helping pass this on to you. And it strikes me that I'm becoming more self-aware, and I want you to catch this. You see, it's okay to be reliant on habits, like in windsurfing. We have all of our old habits. We know how to do that. We know how to do what you do well. When you try to learn something new, it's really awkward. And it can be intimidating, and the emotions can be kind of overwhelming. So I could easily fall back on habits that I know work, overtelling something, or I can really help you feel those emotions yourself so that you move forward with some confidence and try this. See, it's easy for me to say as a watchmaker, okay, there are scouts. You can come in and subscribe and get behind the scenes insights on this. There are explorers. That means you can have your article and video syndicated and experience it yourself. Then there's the full-on fellowship of 360 Men, which is you have your own digital franchise and you go along with us and develop your own future, but on the same platform in private. So those are mechanical things. It's easy to describe that. Here's how it works. But to feel the confidence that comes when you start passing this on, as I'm doing now, when I start having conversations with guys in private about the emotional reward, not just the satisfaction of significance, but actually seeing the duplication of it happening and realizing the legacy is happening. I'm really doing what it is that I dreamed of doing, and I'm leading other guys in the process of knowing how to do that. Okay, that's a long explanation to say, if you've got curiosity or envy or confidence, yeah, I can do this, well then let's talk, because I'll get you involved and you can start getting your toes in the water with this. Hopefully that's a little better explanation. It feels fabulous, actually.